In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can implement the same conversion cycle your favorite 6, 7, and 8-figure coaching business guru is using so you can implement directly into your business. And the best part is, it's going to be a fraction of the required recording time they put in and also the cost. And the promise I'm going to make to you in this video is that I'm going to map every single 7, 8-figure funnel in the space and expose the one thing they all share, which is the secret of consumption that does all of the heavy lifting before the prospects get on the call. Now, so you know who I am. My name is Kuba. I've been in the info coaching space for the past 3 years now. I've been basically studying some of the biggest guys in the space, working with them. I've worked with 6, 7, even 8-figure companies. I've consulted for some of them, either worked, consulted, advised, or just like the whole shebang. I've been with them, I've been consulting for them, basically absolutely everything. And a part of this is mapping absolutely every single funnel in the space and some of the biggest names, so then you guys can get basically the synopsis of absolutely everything I've learned in the last 3 years just in this one video, and why consumption is it's not known as a word, but consumption is probably the biggest thing in the space that nobody talks about. And even if you look it up on YouTube, like I have over here, which I'm going to get into, like you don't find anything about consumption. So I'm going to expose absolutely what all of these guys are doing and how you can just implement into your business. Now, to begin with, I have to prove to you, because you obviously have an objection. It's like, okay, well, how is consumption the biggest thing? And I'm going to answer this for you because it's going to be the only thing that really kind of propels this video forward. If you look at all the funnels, right, this is kind of starting from like some of the biggest ones. You probably know these guys: Charlie, Cole Gordon, Serge Guattari, Jeremy Haynes, Ben Heath, Iman, Sam Ovens, Nick Settings, Sue, Max in-house, right? I made sure I covered every single funnel, so it's not like, oh, well, Kuba, this is funnel specific, this is only for profile funnel, this is for VSLs, this is for every single funnel. And I'm not going to do any cuts or any like editing in this. I'm just going to basically spew my mind, so every single thought, every single process I've ever learned is going to be just like given to you for free, so you don't have to basically spend 3 years learning all this. Now, okay, there's different tiers of consumption. Before I get into proving, there's different tiers of consumption. There's like high tiers, so VSLs, webinars, long form, pre-call assets. There's mid tier, there's emails, tweets, carousels. There's low tier, short form, TikTok, and shorts. Now, basically, consumption is the lever every funnel routes through. So at every point of every single funnel, hence why I made sure I mapped every single one of them, has a stage of consumption, right? Because marketing is extremely, extremely simple. Because marketing is just change work, right? That's all it is. Marketing is just change work. And it works like this, right? Right now, as you probably clicked on this video, you probably might be at this stage of who the fuck are you, right? That's why I had to introduce myself with the credibility line, the people I've worked for, the companies I've consulted for, so then you have an idea of like, okay, well, this guy has some authority, right? Then that probably brought you to at this stage where it's skeptical. And this is the exact same process that your prospects are going through. It doesn't matter what niche. I've done BizOp, I've done health, I've done consulting, I've done B2B, B2C, whatever it is, right? Every single thing is the same thing. So basically, you have skeptical, you have who the fuck are you? So people usually start here. This line should be actually down here. But everyone starts here. It's like, this is the first time they see you from a reel, a short, YouTube possibly. It's very rare, but usually just like short form, like Instagram Reels, TikTok, that's where people see you. But then they get the skeptical. It's like, okay, well, I got a bit of value. He's piqued my attention, but I'm not too sold, right? If you try to pitch him here or you try to sell him, let me make myself small here. If you try to pitch him at this stage where it's just, sorry, I'm moving the wrong thing. If you try to pitch him at this stage where they're skeptical and they're like more like, who the fuck are you? They're not gonna buy, right? Because they haven't crossed the threshold of information. And until you get to the point where you're kind of in this stage where it's like, okay, this guy's making some sense. For me, it's like, okay, I've seen his mechanism, I've seen that he knows what he's talking about, and I've seen some proof. This guy's, starting to make some sense, right? Like he obviously helped people do this. He has the value down. He kind of understands what he's talking about. He's making some sense. And now this threshold is basically where majority of the sales happen, right? This is, Jeremy Haynes talks about this with Fat Cat closers. And he talks about like warming up the prospect a lot to basically make sure your closers are Fat Cat closers. And what he means by that is they're just lazy because they don't actually have to do anything because the sale's already done, right? Marketing is like 80-20. If you do 80% of the marketing straight away, then the sale is just easy. You don't even need a sales call a lot of the time. But basically, once you get people to this threshold where he could solve my problem 100% and I'm sold on buying, this stage, you could just send people the link. This stage, they possibly might need a sales call or just logistics. So how do you bring people to this stage? right? Because cool, this is amazing. You're telling me exactly what people need to buy. I fucking know this, right? Or you might have not known this and I gave you some value. Doesn't really matter. But how do you bring people to this stage up here? Well, that brings me back to my original point, which is consumption. Now I'm going to prove it to you. Let me go through Charlie's funnel, right? From his organic, it's basically the exact same thing as a paid because he just amplifies it. Organic is YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. He sends them to a VSL or quote unquote free training, right? Everything's a free training. A VSL, which is the dynamic conversion asset here. And it's the consumption. Because with the YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, he has a lot of long form here. This is also including long form. But he has organic long form, short form, which is already doing the consumption in terms of showing the proof, showing the testimonials the clients got, the value he's been giving, and his biggest driving factor is actually YouTube. Like he is paid meta ads, but they're not as great as YouTube ads. If you've been in and around the info coaching space, you've probably seen his ads once, twice, or fucking 10 times like everyone else has seen, because he's absolutely cooking on YouTube. And that's only because why he's pushing so heavily is because he understands consumption. And it's the same reason why he's literally gave out his entire course recently out for free to basically for everyone just to go through this consumption period. Like his entire paid program, which used to be like 10 grand or something, he gave away for free, except he just withheld outreach modules. Because he knows like you can watch all of this and probably get some okay results, but because you spend, what is it? He has a written somewhere, but it's 80 hours of content with him. If you watch 80 hours of him saying how much the process worked for him, his story, client testimonials, the people he's worked for, everyone, like this entire thing, because this is also on the basis of his clients making millions of dollars. If you watch 80 hours of him saying that and showing you proof of why it works and how it works, the amount of like consumption you're going to get before you ever hit this page with the VSL and the conversion assets, it's going to be so high. Because it's the highest tier of consumption. You've already been sold before you ever jumped on. Because I was on a call with Charlie. I talked to his closer. I think Sebastian was the name at the time. I literally told him, it's like, this is the easiest call you're ever going to have in your life. Because I'm already sold by Charlie. I've watched all of his videos. And the thing is, I only watched probably like 2 to 3 hours. If you watch 80 hours of this, like, this madness, what he's put out here, you're going to be just immediately, okay, well, Charlie's the guy. He showed me the value, he showed me the testimonials, he showed me the proof, he showed me his story. I'm sold on him, I'm sold on his business, I'm sold on everything. I'm paying him. This is exactly how consumption works. And it's the reason why he is the exact same thing. You go from the VSL, an opt-in to get your information, or you go to direct booking, you get triaged, and guess what? Any objections you even have before this, obviously this gets shown on the triage, basically a setter calls or like someone from Charlie's team calls, which happens a lot of the time. 1 second, let me take a drink. My throat's starting to kill me. Basically, from his team, somebody comes out and triages. And then from there, what happens, basically, they give you more consumption, right? They call you like saying, John, how's it going? I seen you got a call book with Charlie. Just a quick question, man, just so we can make this as personalized as we can for you. What is that you're currently struggling with? I know your application said that you can't book enough appointments at the moment, but what is it specifically? Is it the outreach you're struggling with, or maybe emails are not working? What's happening? Oh yeah, it's actually, my emails are not being opened. I have a low open rate. Oh, cool, man. Did you check your delivery percentage? It's like, are your emails being delivered? No, I actually haven't thought of that. Oh, cool. Actually, Charlie has an asset inside of his program. I'm not meant to give this to you, but I'm actually going to send over a video before this call so you can get more of an idea of like, what we're going to cover, because the consultant you're going to be speaking with is going to be going over this. And it's good that if you guys are on the same terms and understand everything. And it's like they already framed it as like, bro, here's all the help, and you're basically already solving this problem because they figured out what the pain is, what the problem is, and it's like, here's a solution, and it's going to help you when you get on the call. So it's not like, oh, here's the asset, you don't need the call. It's actually going to help you with the call. But you've already solved their problem. You've already proved to that person that, yeah, I can solve this. I can help you solve this. And Charlie is the guy. And as the team, we're going to help you get there, right? And by the time they get on the sales call, it's already done. It's already done. The consumption's done. Like the conversion's done. You don't need to show anything else. And from there, Charlie has like a back-end ascension program, right? They go from like the 10K to I think it's like the 15K and then to the mastermind, which is like 30K or something. But again, it's the same thing. If you go to Cole Gordon, organic, paid, Meta, and YouTube, there's only one difference, that he's a low tick as well. But on the YouTube, you'll see that he has like script videos, he has testimonial videos, he has TikTok, he has Instagram, he's absolutely everything, right? And all of this feeds into consumption. And a $17 low ticket is basically just like a school community with, guess what, more course modules, more ways to implement things for your business, trainings. So by the time you really just get on a call with it's like closer once they actually upsell you, you're already sold, right? And just to prove it to you even further, over here, like if you just look at all of these names, like Jason Flatline, Charlie, Ryan Clogg, Iman Cole Gordon, David Forty, Jeremy Haynes, Sam Ovens, even the OGs, the grandfather of the info coaching space, was already doing this back in 2016. Hormozy was doing the biggest consumption cycle. He was doing like $100 million play, which for the last like fucking how many years? I don't know how long Hormozy's been posting, but you've seen what it can do if you have years of consumption behind you. Now, let me move this away just to prove it to you even further, right? You have categories of assets. Here's Charlie showing testimonials. Here's his own personal story while he was going through. Here's all the value videos of absolutely everything that all of these guys are giving you. And the perfect script that Cole Gordon gave you. And that once you watch this, you have a script, you're using a script, you're struggling with sales, you're going to go to him, right? It all feeds into each other. And it's the reason why at every stage of all of these funnels, there's a consumption process. Even a low ticket, you have consumption. Organic, you have consumption. Paid, you have consumption. You have VSLs, you have trainings, you have emails. Again, coming back to this, you have tiers of consumption. All of these things. And the biggest one that they're leveraging is high tier consumption assets, which is VSLs, webinars, long form, pre-call assets. Which again, if you just implement these into your business, which I'm going to show you exactly how, you're going to be like on easy mode. It happened with so many of the people I've worked with, and it's been so funny watching it happen because it's such an easy fix, yet so many like coaches or people selling info still have no clue how to properly implement it. It's cool just to record videos, just throw them out there and hope for the best, but that isn't really serving anyone. And I'm going to prove it to you as well, like over here, because like listen, if you've seen Cole Gordon talk about like Beatles, right? You're like, what the fuck does this have to do with business? Talking about Beatles, right? It's not going to bring you closer to purchasing from him. Might bring you kind of further away from purchasing from him because you're like, I don't want to watch Beatleman, right? If he's just talking about like Beatles all day. But like if he's talking about value and he's talking about the right things and he's objection handling you in its content before he even jumps on a call with you or his team jumps on a call with you, you're sold, right? The same thing here. You get the upsell, you get the 197 upsell, you get a group, CSM calls, because I've been on the call with the CSM. He tried to upsell me, he tried to get me on a call, he tried to qualify me. It's the exact same thing, right? Qualification, pre-call assets, consumption, the highest tier of consumption because you've already purchased from him, and now you're also now getting back in consumption. High ticket sales call, ascension, then you have ascension again on the back end. I'm not going to go through every single one of these, but you can just have a look and pause. Serge Guattari, exact same thing. Jeremy, exact same thing. Ben Heath, exact same thing. Iman, a bit different. He has a challenge funnel. Organic, paid to registration. From registration, you have a VIP upsell. From there, you've obviously the challenge funnel itself. 3 days spent with Iman, teaching you the business model, or no, teaching you what the business model is, how it's going to work, why it's so good to get into it now, how to do it, giving you all of the resources to do it, and also then adding that final step of implementation. It's like, well, instead of doing it on your own, we can help you because we've helped thousands of other people just like you who can actually do this, right? It's the same thing. Application, book a call, triage. Hey, John, again, the same process, pre-call assets, consumption, high tier close, sales calls, and boom, close, right? It's the reason why he did 10 million in like a couple hours, I'm pretty sure, or like in a day or two with his, I don't know if it was the most recent launch or the launch before this around, when was it? I think it was like late 2025. As I'm recording this, it's May 2026, but he's been running them ever since. So he probably made more than the most recent one. But the one I know of, he made 10 million off of it, and he launched consulting.com and gave basically the entire breakdown, which I got a chance to actually see, which I'm extremely grateful for. But I'm now sharing this information with you, right? Let me take a drink. And if you're thinking like, okay, but this is a new thing, is this tried and tested? Of course it is. The grandfather of the info space, Sam Ovens, back in early 2013, 2014, 2015, same thing. Organic, paid, registration, to a webinar, high tier consumption, application, book a call, triage, right? Webinar, consumption. It's the same thing I've been talking about. Same thing that these guys are doing, Nick, Sue, Max, Organic short form is just paid, it's just follower ads, it's just a bit different. But it's organic short form and then paid follower ads. Profile, bio, like the profile funnel, right? They click on it, they see the highlights of start here, you get a bit of information about Nick, his own story, and it's like same thing with Sui, same thing with Max. Who are these guys? Oh, cool, I resonate with them, I love their beliefs, like they think the exact same way I think, I want to be like them. Oh, what's this? Client highlight reel. Let me go through this. Bam, 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 bam. You just go through like, you just fucking start tapping the screen, right? Like crazy, just go through them crazy amount of results they have. And then there it is. It's like you're getting consumption. With every single hit of the screen, you're getting consumption. Because you see, Mark got 10K. James got 14K in a day. And you just keep going through, right? So like imagine all these like little hits of like, he's gotten this person result, this person result, this person result, this person result. Compound that over like a couple of weeks and like value and all these things that, like all these things that they're giving you, bro, how are you not going to purchase? Right? Same thing. Profile funnel to DMs, in the DMs, start basically diagnosis like, wait, what are you struggling with? Is it the lead gen? Is it the conversion? Is it YouTube? Is it content? Is it reach? What is it? Oh, it's reach. Oh, cool. Actually, I have a YouTube video that I can send you on what Nick did or what Sui did, or well, they're talking about like what I did, right? Because the star's pretending to be them. But like, yeah, I can send you a video on exactly what I did and how I fixed this for this client, this client, this client, indirectly talking about the clients he's fixed this for and the result that had. Because listen, I'm gonna give you this for free. It's just a Google Drive link. One of my clients, Nick, actually made out of $30,000 in monthly revenue off the back of just implementing this one thing. I'm gonna give it to you for free. Just have a watch over it. Sarah then comes back, like, yo, yeah, like, yo, man, did you get like any value from that video? Did you learn anything? Of course I fucking learned something. Like, you gave me everything I need. You basically solved my entire issue. Because they have so much consumption, so much assets, specifically for these things, that they just fucking ping them over. And it's so easy. Like, every single podcast you'll listen to in this entire, like, space is the exact same thing, where it's just like, YouTube is their best traffic. Like, if they have calls with any other platform, and it's like, it's a double booking with YouTube, they'll always cancel the other one, and they'll always put forward YouTube. Because it's just the highest consumption. And like, I'm gonna somewhere here, I'm gonna put clips of like people talking about consumption, so you don't think like I'm clinically insane just talking about consumption, because it's a term you've never heard of before. But I'll put somewhere like on screen, I don't know where it's gonna play, but like a couple of clips of like of people basically talking about consumption. And like saying like consumption. Actually, to be fair, I literally have a doc. I'm just gonna do this live because I mean, I said I'm not gonna edit this. Pretty sure I timestamped these somewhere before. Let me go through my doc. Yeah, there it is. Oh yeah. Let me see.
XYZ amount of content, they already have the consumption. They're going directly to basically apply, right? They're going directly to do that. So
there you go. And let's go to Jeremy. Thank God YouTube timestamp selected time as well.
Year. And the consistent consumption and application of that information improved your circumstances time and time again.
Again, it's another example. Like Alan Soltanic, probably like the best marketer alive at the moment, I'd say.
Yeah. You said something about consumption. I know that this is something that you throw out a lot. Like the idea how we don't have like an issue of there not being enough content out there or information. Like we now have too much, and AI's only consume the content.
Correct.
Like he has a whole like scenario of like lack of consumption here, right? So like I've way more here. Like you've Charlie talking about it, you've like Jason Flatline talking about it. There's way more here like that I can give you, but just to kind of give you a synopsis of that, I'm not like insane. But how does this apply as well to other areas? Because this, just to prove even further to you, this just works across every part of your life. For example, in this scenario, there's no conversion needing to take place necessarily, just consumption. But there's even examples where there's no conversion, only consumption, why like you might take certain actions and why it is going to apply to you, your business, and the actions your prospects take, because it's all tied in. It's all consumption. When I made the discovery, it just blew my mind because I was like, is it really that easy? And is it really everything? So let me go over here. All right, let's take Ronaldo. If Ronaldo launched a coaching program tomorrow, people would flock and buy packages worth $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 because the consumption they've had of him he wouldn't need a sales process. Like imagine trying to tell Ronaldo, listen man, I'm not sold on you being that good of a player. Like you know he's a good player. You've had probably decades of watching him. So if he launched something and he told you like, I'll train you 1-to-1 to become just like me, people would flock and pay literally an ungodly amount of money just to learn from them, because they already have the consumption. Like he doesn't need marketing. He can just use a site that looks like it was designed in the 80s, and people would still pull out their credit cards, even if it said, you will probably lose money on this, you will probably get scammed. The people would still buy, because the consumption is so high that the friction wouldn't even come close to what it needs to be to basically deter someone, because consumption is an all-time high. Same thing with like how you make decisions on beliefs, right? Whether you're religious or not, for example, you could be Muslim, you could be like a Christian, you could be also an atheist, right? Depends on the amount of consumption you've been fed throughout the years. Parents telling you about religion, how good it is, how evil it is. Friends, school, videos you've watched online, like seeing you've grown up as well from like the years and years like before even you made this like conscious decision. Actions you've seen people taking in accordance with their religion, whether it's positive or negative, however it was skewed and however you consumed it, in whichever format was given to you. Because this could be in video, this could be like you observing it in person, this could be like your friend telling you, like these guys beat up this person, and oh, did I tell you that they're a Muslim, or did I tell you that they're Christian? And it's like oh well, you know, it's the same way as like there's stereotypes like, I'm not being racist, but like, you know, black people will shoot you and kill you, right? It's like a stereotype. There's a reason why. It's because of consumption, right? It's this big like psychological thing that happens. And what's influenced is what your thought process and thinking on the topic became, right? It led you either to believe in religion, be atheist, or just whatever it is, right? Whatever decision you came to now lies in like one of these things. You might have consumed something. If you really think about it, and if you think about your thought process of how you got to this point of what your beliefs are currently, you probably think like, oh yeah, I remember this. I seen this piece of like, I seen this reel, and I seen that reel, and then like, yeah, I'm not convinced on this, right? Same thing on you. You wouldn't probably marry the person you met straight away, right? Because there hadn't been enough consumption, not enough touch points, right? Touch points. I remember like Siggy Foss. He's not like a growth up guy in the space. He did this like thing like a profile funnel but for like chicks, right? It's the same thing. Like, they haven't had enough touch points, so he brought them all in the room and just like had them conversing with each other, right? But you haven't built enough trust to marry a person you've seen like from the beginning. Now, some people will be like, well, I literally met the love of my life and I wanted to marry her same day. Great, because everyone has different types of consumption and how much consumption they need to make a decision. Same thing with your prospect, which all I'm getting into. And this is just to show you that the consumption thesis is real, and it's literally just like every single part of your business. Because like if you fix this just one thing, it will propel you so much forward, right? Because listen, if you haven't seen if they're the right husband or wife straight away from the beginning, remember, you're sticking with this person for 40, 50, 60 years, because and you're not going to make that decision super fast because you haven't had enough consumption, right? In a sense, content is experiences, conversations, aligned beliefs, life goals, missions, right? For example, like imagine, let's say, here's the critical part, right? The decision to make that like a person, your husband or wife, will be much harder with less consumption, right? But here's the critical part. You can't just put out content mindlessly. It's the same thing I was alluding to earlier, but you can't just put out content mindlessly. Here's the problem, right? If your husband or wife, let's just make a crazy example. If your husband or wife or prospect said something like, I think abortion is murder, or I think abortion's fine, or I think God is stupid, I would never raise my kids with God, or I love God, I love to teach my kids about God. Whatever side of spectrum you're on, this one thing might be the deal breaker, right? If you're more conservative, you probably think abortion's murder. Imagine if your wife said, well, if I accidentally get pregnant, I'm going to kill our kid. It's like, what are you on about, right? So like, I don't think I want to marry this person because like she's going to kill a baby, right? So that might be a thought process that you might have, but it might be a deal breaker. And because of just that one line, it threw everything away, all the positive experiences, because you said the wrong thing, right? And that might be the deal breaker before you commit to a person. It's the same thing with what you say to your market. If you say the wrong thing to your market, they're going to react in the same way. Same thing, if they've been burnt before by, let's say, a certain loom process for like acquiring clients, right? Charlie has this thing called Terminator looms. If you've tried Terminator looms and let's say you got sued over it for 20K. If someone tried to sell you on Terminator looms, you'd be like, fuck, bro, no, I don't want to do that. Get me away from it. Is that your whole process? Is that all you're going to sell me? I don't want to like interact with your business. I got sued for 20K last time because of that negative experience, right? But because of what you said, you've deterred a portion of your market. But this can happen because it's content, and the benefit and the cons of it is, the benefit is you can speak to one-to-many, right? I'm recording this video, but this might get like hundreds of views. So I'm speaking to 100 people. Like I'm in a meeting room at the moment. You can probably see the reflection. There's like 20 chairs here, right? I could be speaking to like 20 people max in this room, but if I put out everything, I'll be speaking to a bunch. Amazing for conversion. Terrible if I say the wrong thing, right? I could get jumped in this room if I said the wrong thing, right? But if they consume one line that's either positive or negative to your business, it could lead to a flow of cash like you've never seen before, or a decreased amount of revenue that will never hit your bank account. So why, or which is why every line, every asset, every touch point in the conversion cycle is engineered and not posted, not like improvised, but it's engineered, right? Here's an experiment. I'll run an experiment. You probably know these two fine gentlemen, right? Iman and Hormozi. If I told you, you would 3 days worth coaching session with both of them, probably the greatest minds that you could probably, like you possibly know in this space, that would consult directly on your business with you, help you, and do everything done for you, right? Or this guy. Chances are, like the majority of the info, like a coaching space, don't know who this person is, right? And without cheating, who would you pick, right? Would you pick Iman and Hormozi, or would you choose this guy? If you know me, you probably know I'm setting you up here, but you would probably, most people would like pick Iman and like Hormozi, right? If you didn't think about it twice, you'd pick Iman and Hormozi, of course. Like they've done so much because you've seen how much they've done, you've seen the results they've had, so you would choose them because who's this guy? But let me just show you in real time what's going to happen when I move him, right? I move him away. We have a description. This man is called Jay Abraham, and he's generated 75 billion in documented revenue growth for his clients across more than 1,000 industries. If you got all of, like every single asset these guys have ever made, this is not touching anywhere close to 75 billion, right? Hormozi is known as the $100 million guy. He's not known as the $75 billion guy. And this is cited between multiple sources, not just like one guy saying this. Like some other sources saying 50 billion, 75 billion, 50, it's billions, right? It's in the billions, multiple billions. 10,000 clients, billions generated. Now, if I moved him back, and I moved him down here, but I also had this line, who would you rather choose, right? You choose probably the guy who has thousands and thousands of more touch points, like across every single industry that these two could possibly ever have at this stage of their journey, right? You'd probably want the guy who not only made billions for his clients, but also probably worked in your industry really closely and made billions in that industry, right? Jay Abraham is probably one of the best marketers of all time. But this experiment literally exposed, like, if you, just because you've seen these two guys and you haven't seen enough of consumption of him, this one line might skew you to be like, well, fuck me, I want to learn how to make billions. I don't want just millions, I want to make billions, right? So you would choose this guy now after the fact that I literally give you one line of consumption. And that's all it takes. So now, applying it to your business, like how do you and what do you do to basically get this level of conversion? How do you make these assets, right? So let me move everything. Let's move over here because it's going to help you a lot. Okay, you know the way I said earlier that we have basically like tiers of consumption? At each tier of the process, you have like low tier, you have mid tier, and you have high tier. Where this is going to work the most for you is basically like a complete system. And I'm going to give it to you right now. Whereas like low tier is basically like what's commonly known as top funnel, middle funnel, bottom of funnel. With this, it's like top of funnel is getting attention, getting like reach, right? And how you do that is basically just doing like kind of general but still niche statements in your niche. So for example, if you're doing fitness, right, and you want people who lose weight, be like, this is the best way to lose weight in 2026. It's not doing that like busy professionals who are 45. Like, you're not talking about that. You're just trying to get people who just want to lose weight, like generally. Same thing, like, for example, if I'm doing a hook, like in info coaching, I would say, if your coaching business, it can't scale past 10K a month, it probably is just a consumption issue and not a marketing issue, right? That would be like, that would border on like a bit of middle funnel, because we're a lot technical. Like, it's very technical, this space, and you really need to be knowledgeable and stand out. So that might not have been the best example, but like, same thing like any other space, like how to grow on Instagram, right? Like this, like, if you want to get to 1 million followers by the end of this year on Instagram without doing more posts, this is what you do. Or another one, like, I remember, like a really massive top of funnel video. It was like top 10, or it's like illegal websites that you need to know, like something like that, right? General, very general, and it's like, it's obviously applied to like marketing, just like roll followers on Instagram. That was like the idea of the video. It's super general, and it gives you kind of like the lowest tier of consumptions, like that's top of funnel. Middle funnel would be more just like breakdown videos, like, you know, tactical videos of like, this is how you set up ads manager, or just how to set up like a retargeting campaign. This is how to make middle funnel, top funnel, like bottom funnel videos, like that type of like information, right? So for like a health offer, like a fitness mobility offer, you would show more, not about like how to like release your joints in 60 seconds. It would be more like, this is the step-by-step process of how you can never struggle with back pain again, especially if you work or a full-time job or whatever, right? More middle funnel, more tailored to that specific demographic. Bottom of funnel would be more like just like basically like testimonials, something like very at the bottom. Like, they've seen absolutely everything. They just need a little bit to get them across the board. So like testimonials here, you send them a video like this, and there's ranges of it, right? Because every single like mid-tier, low-tier, or high-tier form of consumption, you have like at each stage, and each stage is like the top funnel, middle funnel, bottom of funnel. If you really want to get technical, you look up like the five stages of awareness by Eugene Schwartz, one of the best marketers of all time. You have unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware, most aware. Top funnel, middle funnel, bottom funnel is really just taken from this, but it's just like a more distilled, like a dumbed down version. If you really want to get like extremely good at marketing, just study these 5 principles, which I might make a video about. So let me know in the comments if you guys want that. But I'll make a video about that if needed. But basically, it's just like the 5 stages of awareness that you need to bring your prospect through. So it's basically like unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware, most aware. Same thing, a stage of consumption. This is what he realized, is that it's just consumption. They don't know who you are. They realize they have a problem. They realize that you have like a solution that's part of the problem. They realize that your product helps that. Most aware, they've seen absolutely everything, right? So all these stages, you basically bring them through. Now, tactical actual lessons. What content should I make? You showed me everything, but what content should I make? So, first category, case studies, proof, assets, authority assets. These are just videos that demonstrate the results your community generates. Real members, like, as proof, you as proof, even like other people. Like, you know the way I've been talking about Cole Gordon, Charlie Morgan, and all these guys? Like, it's indirectly pulling proof to me. Like, I don't need to sit here and like show you every single screenshot of every client result I've ever had, right? Even though like I can show you like a fucking shit ton of payments, like WAP screenshots. Like, I don't know if it's gonna load, like 14K like in just like a day or something. Like, it's crazy, right? But I don't need to show you like all of that just to prove it to you. Like, I can pull authority from other places to show like this guy did this, or this guy did this, or she did this, and that kind of shows you like straight away. It's like, well, yeah, I know that person, and he's just showing me what they did. Right, so it's just like authority, like just taken somewhere else. So if you don't have like a crazy amount of testimonials, you can use that. It's a great way to basically pull more proof and authority, or like take a section of a market. So like, for example, if Trump passed a bill when it comes to like real estate and real estate housing, just use that in your marketing if you have a real estate offer, because it's just going to help you like prove the point much further that there's never been a better time to invest in real estate than in 2026, because Trump just passed this bill. We talked about that, right? It's an implied authority. So you have case study videos. These 2 specifically, why I chose them is because they literally got me to basically jump on a call with Charlie, because both college students at the time, I didn't want to go to college. They didn't want to go to college, and they made this much money. I was like, fuck yeah, I really want to learn this. Same thing as Nick, same thing as Inia, same thing as Jordan Welch. He literally just like farmed this video like twice because of how well it did. His own personal story and then like just like a tactical video, exactly what I did. Cole Gordon, literally talking about at Sam Ovens Quantum Mastermind. That's what I mean by implied authority. Because Cole was allowed to speak at Sam Ovens Mastermind, it's like Sam Ovens, the go of the info coaching space, let Cole speak. It's like you already have the authority because like the goal of the space let you speak, right? Or he let you on his stage because he thinks that you're the guy. He vouches for you indirectly, which then again vouches for your clients. Like, this guy's trustworthy. Lastly, David Fogarty, $500 to 500 million, sells you on his story. So it could be you, it could be clients, it could be anyone, right? Then you obviously you bring them through kind of that process of like, okay, well, the case studies. So that kind of goes into my next category, which is like system breakdowns. Because you can't just say like, this person got this result, this person got this result, I got this result, and then not tell people how you did it or the tactical how-to steps of how you did it. Because everyone's like, well, yeah, thanks that you did it, good for you, but how do I do it? Same thing you're probably asking, like, great that these people are fucking doing it, but how do I do it? Well, this is exactly how you get into it, right? Okay, boom. If I want to become a millionaire in 2024, so I do. I made 41,000 in 23 days using a brand new WAP account. Here's how. Like a 10-hour Nick setting coaching video. Like a 22-hour Charlie, again, the consumption thing, right? Guess why they're so long? Because you spend so much time with these people. You learn about their case studies, their clients, them, their business, their beliefs, who they helped. They have so much time to basically sell you on them. Jeremy does the exact same thing. Iman is now doing it for info coaching business because he has Quantum, like his mastermind. Jason Flatline, another one, Iman, like the 150K, or the 150 per month prison. Why I had to completely reimagine my info business. Very specific, but great consumption and great value to someone who's at that stage. Same thing. One of my clients with Jordan. What we did is like amazing video. This was I took that screenshot after 3 weeks because it already had insane results. But now if you check on his channel, I think it has like 5,000 to 7,000 views because we kept sending traffic to it because like consistently on an onboarding form that we had for a low ticket community, because his low ticket went from like 2K a month when I first started working with him to when I helped him bring it to 50K a month. One of the things that like on the onboarding form we had, because we asked like every client like why did you join and what was the main thing that made you join, every single one of them quoted this video, and it was just 30 minutes long, right? I'm going for 37 minutes here, but this is just like 30 minutes long, but it brought them through every stage of the process of what they need to see, right? And then again, Joel Kaplan, 12 hours. Same thing here with tactical, like next category is tactical fixes. Same thing as value, but this is the kind of stuff you give away, right? You give them like Facebook ads, like a tracker, a script, something they can tangibly get like an opt-in for. This is really where you're gonna get like most people like raising their hands. So like DM me, like off story sequence, DM me this keyword and I'll send over this exact asset Jake was able to hit 10K a month with, or James was able to do this with, right? You talk about that. And then you also have then the last thing, which is probably the most important, is your personal life, the strategic roadmaps, mindset shifts, beliefs, your story, ups and downs, personality assets. Because it's another video I'll make, but it's just like 4 conversion assets that you need to make to basically like this. There's kind of like in it, but I'll go way more deeper into it in another video, which I'll release soon on my channel. It's gonna be the next video I record, but it's like your own story. Because before anything else, imagine if this just it's just a sales script, right? It's like, yeah, okay, everyone here is kind of giving away a sales script or a tracker, but what makes them them? Like what makes Charlie Charlie? What makes Cole Gordon? Like who do you align with more? For example, if you are more right wing, and Charlie Morgan was, let's imagine he had blue hair, he had makeup on, he was kind of like a super like left wing liberal. It's like, you shouldn't pressure your clients. You should actually like vote for Kamala, and like you should and Cole is more like right wing, and he's like, I love Trump, right? If you love Trump, if you're a person who loves Trump, and you also resonate that Cole loves Trump, you're not gonna pay Charlie because you're probably gonna fucking hate him. You're not gonna get through 15 minutes. Like I've seen videos of people where it's like they give out good value, but you just can't stand them, right? And it's like they could be giving away the best sauce. I just can't stand them, right? It might be our own personal limiting belief, but like you could look at like content, you could look at like basically their own story, just what really motivates you. Because if you align with their beliefs it's a core thing that like precedes any type of value. Same thing with like religion over here, right? If you truly believe like in Islam, if you truly believe in like Christianity, doesn't matter what anyone really says to you. It's like these take precedence, like because this is just all belief. They just take precedence, like before anything else, right? It's the main thing before you think about like any other thing, because it's just your beliefs, right? It's the thing that you hold dearest to your heart. It's what you truly believe. So if you sell people on your story, same thing with, like with Iman, when he had his like transformation where like, you know, we all follow him, like the kid, he really want to make it like a agency, help retire his mom, like he was broke, whatever it is. And he basically sold everyone on that story. Like everyone knows Iman's story and what he went through. So when he's selling people on that story, it's like now he lives the life they want to live. Now he helps his mom. Now he does everything. It's like, bro, I want to help my mom. I want to do that. I want to do this. Like you sell him on him. He's done it. And like that sells, like this is the highest conversion asset like we've had before like anything else. It's just like a my story thing. I'm not sure if I have it on this board specifically. I don't think it is here. But the biggest conversion asset that we had is just like my story videos, and as well like just transformational videos. Like even with this one with Jordan over here, it kind of goes into like how he got from car sales his story to then transition to high ticket space, and then how he closed for like Andrew Tate and like all these guys, right? So basically he just goes over like his like kind of like brief story and then into the value. But those are the 4 categories that you need to make like consumption pieces about, which then you just implement into your funnel. Where do you implement them really matters on like what type of funnel you're running, because like obviously non-negotiable is just have like every single like Instagram, have your highlights optimized, story sequences optimized, push people to longer form consumption like videos, YouTube videos, always push to like long form, right? Again, coming back to this chart up here of like high tier, mid tier, low tier, you want to bring people off of this as soon as possible to this up here, right? High tier. Mid tier is like if you can get them on an email list or like tweets or car sales, something where they read. Like it's not like mindless like scrolling, just like I'm gonna use this as a phone, but it's like yeah, value, yeah, oh yeah, value. It's like kind of brain dead, right? But if I actually have to read this, I actually have to focus on this can and read what I'm putting in my body, right? So there's a bit more consumption. It takes a bit more effort. As low as we can possibly get, like even reading now takes a lot of effort for people, but you want to get people to hear, because this is where like the majority of basically all conversion happens. Because if they spend 20 or like an hour with you on a webinar, they're way more primed to buy. They might go on like multiple webinars before they even buy from you. Long form YouTube, pre-call assets, like before you jump on a call, don't stop the conversation like, okay, cool, we have a call booked in, see you then, and you just stop the convo. It's probably the stupidest thing I've ever seen, why people do that. But instead it's like, okay, cool, we got a call booked in, but like, just so I can get the most, so we can get the most out of our call. What do you want to cover? Like, what's the problem? So I can just get everything prepared for you, so I can like make a Miro or whatever. And it's like, they just tell you. It's like, oh, cool, actually I have a video on that, let me send it over. And it's like, do you think they would be more primed to buy if you gave them more value? You talk about your client testimonials, you talk about everything in there than before, right? Or like if you didn't. So obviously they would, because they have more information about you, your business, and everything that you stand for, right? Same thing as well. If I just like even just I skimmed through the 14K in a day, that probably did something for you, right? Not even including fan bases like Jordan, right? Same thing as like him, like another like 9 days in the month, how much we on 22K. Chris, it's like I'm gonna run myself into the ground if I don't shift to school. Or like someone Shaymax is in here probably somewhere, where you went from like 0 to 80K a month. I don't think I'm in here. The Lion Glass, where we made him like fucking like multiple 6 figures. Like, bro, it's so many things, right? Even more proof. Like, look, there's me with the guy, right? It's just like these little small things where you just pick on these little hits of consumption, just all add to the story of who you are, like what you add to them, and just how you're gonna help them. So, again, more proof of like how this is like working, right? So because you might be thinking, okay, this applies to Instagram, right? But where does it all come from? Because this is just tried with time. This has been done for hundreds of years, I think, when Robert F. Kennedy, not Robert like J.F. Kennedy, not the one who got shot, but like probably the originator of copywriting, direct response marketing. He came up with, he was like the first direct response marketer, right? So copywriting, like ads and everything on television, or I can think on newspapers. But you have like the biggest names here, right? you've John Kennedy, you've David Ogilvy, like Gary Albert, like you've everyone here, right? That you can look at, and people used to sell off this, right? Because back in the day, you don't have TikTok, you don't have Instagram, so how do people sell? It's like, well, they sold through consumption. Remember when I went over like the emails and everything, and like carousels? Well, back then, this is the best they got. It wasn't mid-tier, it was actually high-tier. So here's how you can get the tapes of my $6,250 seminar of the century absolutely for free. Dear friend, here, I've got a deal for you, right? And just copy. Same thing as like David Ogilvy, one of the best like sales letters of all time. Headline and subheadline, right? You might see like similarities, like, holy shit, this looks exactly like a headline and subheadline. It's because the exact same things worked in just consumption. Like you read through all of this, and it's one of the, like the best marketing campaigns as well. Ogilvy or Rolls Royce. Same thing here with when this was first published. It brought everyone through consumption, right? It's the same thing. Like you go through the end of this and you just like basically just read through all of it and you're like sold. And it's the same thing today, right? You have Brez doing it, like info coaching guys, more people as well. Like everyone that I went over before. You have Iman, you have Jeremy Miner with like a low ticket, his entire funnel map. You have Sam Ovens back in the day. You have TJR. You have blanking name, not Jordan Platten, Jordan Lee. But I'm sure I'm not. I don't know why I'm blanking name. But I know his name is Jordan. I forgot. I think I'm blanking his name. But like, I think Jordan Lee. But like, look, even after you have the entire call here, or VSL on his story, how he went through it, why AI is the best business model to start, and then literally going through again a pre-call video. Watch this short video to make sure we don't cancel your call, and fill out the form below because he's putting traffic to unaware people. Do you remember this when I showed you like unaware? Because he's putting traffic to people who don't know him, who've never seen him before. This VSL is like 30 or 40 minutes, right? And he has to go through these processes. And how I know that he literally did it specifically to this, because I know the guy who wrote it, right? I know the guy who wrote the VSL. Well, it's Alan, right? I'm not gonna it's Alan Soltanik. I'm not gonna leave anything past that on like the back end metrics and everything. But Alan wrote his VSL, and obviously like Alan, like I was on one of the calls. I think I was speaking to him, and I was basically asking him like, what was the process here, and he basically told me everything, because they need so much consumption prior to the call because they've never seen him. So like all of these like questions answered, it's just boom, like confirmation page videos. This is like probably something you already know, but after they book a call, you should have confirmation page videos of like, okay, I've never sold anything in my life. Is that going to hold me back? What exactly am I going to be delivering? Does this model provide recurring revenue? What are the costs? Am I ever going to get how am I going to get clients for my business? Right? All of these things are objections that someone would have on a call, but he's solving them here. So like when they jump on the call, they're way more primed to buy. Same thing as TJR. He tells you literally how to accept the call, pre-call video. Jeremy, same thing. VSL, 5 minutes because it's a way more sophisticated audience. And then boom, straight away to here, answering FAQs. How does this work? AI Jeremy, what niche is best for? What is the pricing? Right, because it's way more sophisticated. Same thing again. The reason why they have so much fucking like they just keep posting on YouTube is because they just want consumption. Same thing as Max Pearson, right? I forgot it's Swedish or like Danish. I don't remember. But like it goes from meta to free community and then free trial to his paid community. Same thing process, right? Goes from this ad to learning everything in a free community, getting consumption, being in the group, being part of the family, being part of the team, getting more, like learning more Max, the clients he's helped, the people, the results, and then you eventually get into his paid. It all works the same way. Like, I literally can't show you anything past that. There's like, this is different videos I'm going to be filming, but everything I've kind of went through, it's just like, you just need consumption, right? To kind of just consolidate everything and just put it into like a nice little packaged version for you doesn't matter what funnel you have. It doesn't matter what stage of business you're at, even really. If you don't have a consumption process, which a lot of the time is like YouTube long form, but if you don't have like TikTok and Instagram, you're optimizing it properly for what people see, which are, if you remember correctly, we went over here of like the tactical things of what you need to be posting and how it works. So you can apply it to your business, and you can basically just steal what all of these guys are doing, which like I'm hoping I fulfill on the promise. I already gave you all of the knowledge and all of the studying, all the hours and all the courses and money I spent on courses and the programs I've watched and basically everything distilled in this one board in just 50 minutes. So you can basically walk away and just get as much like a understanding as I could. And also, if you want the board, just where's the CTA? Yeah, if you want the board, just DM me CNVR on Instagram and I'll reach out and I'll give it to you. So that way you don't have to basically like pause it on every video, because you can just steal all this. I don't really mind. You could steal all this. You can map it out for your own business. But yeah, like if we come back here, just see consumption. Before they ever get to a point of sale, there's always a layer of consumption, and there's multiple. Like in the best businesses, you have multiple. It's the same way, like the same way you see any like massive 7 to 8 figure operation. They have so many touch points before they ever get on a call. It's just insane, right? And every market, same thing with like low ticket. Like when you're selling a low ticket, people still need to like trust you. They still need to see the results. Even if it's $17 like with Cole, he has an ad to a VSL. From the VSL, it's literally just like a entire page breaking down what you get, how it's going to help you, what the outcome is going to be for you, and like all of these things. He still has to sell you on $17, right? But the best thing about this is, in Info Coaching, is we can sell packages for 5, 10, 15 grand, and the sales process is relatively the same, right? This is just a level, like a entry level offer, because he's optimizing for LTV to CAC ratio, because he wants to like get people for like a low ticket and then send them, because like the metrics and the economics on the back end work much better. But obviously, probably at this stage of the business, if you're watching this, you probably won't need this. You're probably like a coach or a consultant. Scaling might be struggling to scale, but this is going to basically fix all of your issues. Like if you've ever been struggling with lead gen issues, if you've ever been struggling with lead gen issues, like conversion issues, literally anything, if you just input consumption, it will like supercharge your business. And the best thing is, like, if you have enough of it, like when I come back to here with marketing exchange work, if you have enough of it, you don't really need sales calls, right? Like if you put the right things in front of the right people, you don't really need a sales call to get someone over the line, because they already like sold on you. Like for me, for example, like there's been times where I did like diagnostic calls with people where it's just, I jump on a call, it's like, so what's wrong? And I give them like a value for an hour, and they were like, can you do this for me, or can you help me? Can you coach me? And it's like, well, yeah, it's because they spent an hour with me, and I gave them the exact solutions to their business. I gave them diagnostic, and from there, I'm like, well, fuck me, you're good at what you do. You show me examples of what you do. You literally shared your screen. You gave me like proper example. Same thing like with one of my clients who signed on recently, Dylan. I known him for a while, and he knew I was like kind of in marketing. He's like, what do I do for my for my profile? Because I'm like, he was doing a profile funnel, right? I basically gave him this like entire like basically breakdown and what to do specifically for his niche, because there's some things like missing here that's kind of like way more high level, but really depends on the niche. And if you want help as well, just reach out on Instagram and I'll give you some free value. But like you needed some very specific information, and I just gave it to him, and he signed I think like 2 or 3 clients with just the free stuff before he decided to pay me for the actual paid stuff. And the first sequence that we did together, like the first ever story sequence I scripted for him, and then we posted it, literally got him a 5K PIF, and then as well another 10K PIF, and then yeah, it was like 15K in the first like 2 weeks of working together, which was crazy. But it's just a consumption thing, because he was just missing a consumption layer that I just installed immediately, because I knew what his market needed. He gave me the breakdown, and we just basically started just pushing consumption. And it's exactly what we're doing now. We're literally scripting long form videos for him to post out so we can get way more people in the conversion process. But this is kind of wrapping up everything. I literally went over like I think every single point of this massive like a lucid board, Miro board, whatever you want to call it. If you ever want help, or if you ever want to reach out and get me to do this, either we're done with you or done for you, you can again DM me KNVR on Instagram and I'll reach out. And yeah, we'll have a conversation. We'll see if it's the right fit. Worst case scenario, I'll literally jump on a call, map where your business is at, what you could do, what I can do to help, what vision I can give you, what direction to head in. So then that way you at least have some clarity of where to move. But yeah, apart from that, if you want more, if you want this board, if you want the resources that I got, and obviously like all of this, all these like material, DM me CNVR on Instagram. Yeah, then I'll reach out from there. Hope this video was enjoyable. I've been rambling on. Again, it's no editing. Basically, like, I'm not going to cut anything out of this. It's going to be just one take as it is. I haven't taken out anything here. Probably pull up the clips. Actually, I did pull up the clips. But it's not going to be edited. It's going to be like mainly just a massive consumption piece, so for you to understand. I just pull up my like finances. That's kind of crazy. I will probably cut that out. But yeah, apart from that, I hope you have a great day, and please implement this for your business. Probably going to be the best thing you can do. And if you make money with it, let me know on Instagram. Actually, just text me, because I want to see what you guys are doing, how you guys are doing it, and how we can basically help each other more. All right, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.